keep beckoning to me.
Teenage parenthood. It is estimated in the world's rich nations that more than 750,000 teenagers will become mothers in the next 12 months. New Zealand has a population of 3.7 million people. It also has one of the highest rates of teenage pregnancy in the OECD nations. With the onset of early parenthood, a young mother will not have finished her education at school, will be untrained for skilled work, and is likely to become dependent on income support. The child of the teenage parent is likely to be disadvantaged in terms of health, education, self-esteem, and work potential, and is at risk of repeating the cycle for the next generation. The position of the father tends to be lost from view, but the effects on a boy who has fathered a child are likely to be long-term, reflecting those suffered by the mother. It need not happen this way. Empowering young parents through education and helping them to develop self-esteem can transform their lives and the lives of their children. Dr. Jill Boddy-Greer is the Executive Director of Family Planning New Zealand.
Well, there's two things. Taking the very broad international picture for a moment, New Zealand has been pushing very hard to include reproductive health in the Summit for Sustainable Development, and will continue to, I understand. Internationally, we in New Zealand have a lot to learn from other countries, and we're seeing that what has been gained at Cairo and Rio and in Beijing, and more recently at the United Nations General Assembly Special Summit on Children, we can't afford to lose that language, we can't afford to lose that direction. New Zealand now has a sexual and reproductive health strategy. The challenge is going to be localising that, as has happened, for example, in England, where there are local coordinators and set indicators. So that work is still to be done, but the principles are established, the action plans are still being developed.
Barbara Collins is a researcher and PhD student at Victoria University in Wellington.
We need to encourage young people to take precautions to prevent pregnancy, but we also need to help them when they've become pregnant, because it can happen accidentally or in some cases on purpose to some of these young women who see not a lot of other opportunities for them to engage with society or to attain adult status, which many young women gain through educational work.
For many of our young women, the only way into adulthood is through motherhood. We haven't really addressed the education system sufficiently to say, let's make it flexible. One size doesn't fit all, but we've got to make it sufficiently flexible so that education is meaningful.
I know education is everything. This is a knowledge-based society, and to get anywhere in life we have to go to university and get a good education.
Because if we don't, they will believe the education system has nothing to offer. They have nothing to offer. It is only as a mother that they have a role that is meaningful and that will give them respect and dignity.
Susan Baragwanath is the founding director of He Hurahi Tamariki, School for Teenage Parents in Wellington.
This type of school has huge public support because it doesn't take too much to work out the mathematics of long-term dependency. And without the public support, we wouldn't still be open. We'd have been shut down a long, long time ago. We have now proved that we can do it. We can take these young women and turn them into citizens who are going to contribute to society instead of the hopelessness and despondency which we've seen prior. The only way to stop that, in my opinion, is to provide both the mum and the child with a proper education.
Dame Dawn Lamb is a former secondary school principal and a director of He Hurahi Tamariki School for Teenage Parents.
We thought that if we were ever going to break the syndrome of disaffection with education that these young women had, that we had to do something for the next generation. And it seemed to us that a really positive change that we could bring about was to see that they had somewhere to send their babies for a first chance at education.
My space all the time in
Debbie Whiteley is the director of Titaro Whakamua, School for Teen Parents.
It's hard to get out of.
We see an enormous change in the mums from the time they start with us until the time that they leave. A lot of it's an improvement in just their self-esteem, really. For me, the prime thing is that we're getting them out of that cycle of poverty and giving them a chance to come off the benefit. They're really motivated to do that. That's what they want to do, is get a good job, because they realise that's the best thing for their kids.
I want to get a good education, get a job, because I don't want to be on the DPB forever, and give my son the best that the best that he deserves and what I can.
If I pass this year bursary, that I'll be able to go to university and become a registered nurse in 3 years, hopefully, be able to support my 2 kids.
Well, next year I might be going to the National College of Design and Technology. So I'll be studying graphics and design. This is all on computers and stuff. And then after that, I might thinking about doing a multimedia course.
It means that I can carry on with my study and study towards a career in hopefully outdoor adventure tourism. So one day I can own my own adventure park farm stay sort of thing, which is where we're headed one day.
I think it's given them a whole new look on life, Perhaps they can put some of those dreams into action.
There are now going to be 16 schools like mine, but there need to be 56 or 60. We know from experience that young mums have great difficulty going back with their peers and having a baby on their hip to go into a classroom after that experience.
If we had gone back to even a normal school, then there wouldn't have been the same, because you're never going to be the same as the other people in your classes, and there'll be like
they don't understand, and the comments that they make.
And the teachers, they wouldn't understand if you didn't come to school for 3 days because your child was sick, and they don't make allowances for that.
I can continue on with my education with my son, knowing that he's going to be well looked after down there, and meeting all the girls in the class. Yeah, because, they help me get through things.
A young man came into my school in the very early days with a baby, and I asked him what he was doing there. And he said, "I have been abandoned with a child, can't I come to school?" And of course we have no discrimination, equal opportunities, and I said, of course you can come to school. So from that day, we have a school for young parents. I don't know who put out in the arena that a young dad doesn't love his baby or want to look after it. And it's my experience that most of the fathers that I deal with feel so inadequate and so alienated that they don't seem to be able to assist in the way that they want to.
Although William is not a student of the Hehurahi Tamariki School, he is a teenage father who cares deeply for his son Tyler and takes his responsibility seriously.
When Tyler was born, it was like going from being a 16-year-old to someone in their late 20s, early 30s in one day. You've got to actually sit and think about it seriously. You got to think about whether you're prepared to stick around and be in the child's life. And you got to think about the mother, the girl who's pregnant. You got to think about her feelings. You got to think about whether she's going to be able to cope with it. That sort of program. I'm trying to deal with school, which I'm struggling with because it's just a huge workload to be going through. And then I'm trying to be a good father to Tyler. And then I've got work and homework, and it's just really hectic life.
This is a school run by students. It's been designed by them, and we give them what they require. It's not me or the staff showing them what they have to do. They want the education. They're the reason why we're here. We want young, confident people. And they're wonderful people. And they're wonderful employees, and they're wonderful to have as friends. A school like this has has nothing left to prove because it has been very successful and the model has been followed by many other people.
With education, with a more open attitude, with addressing the complex social causes, we can change these statistics and we can give our young people and our grandchildren a far better hope for a better future.
You have given me so much. My pregnancy gave me determination to do what I believed was right, determination to keep you and raise you. You have given me strength to fight my demon and leave him behind. You gave me a reason to get up in the morning, a reason to fight for us and for you. You have given me so much. Thank you, my angel.